just rolling up out of bed. Yes, just rolling up out of bed. Well, not just rolling up out of. Listen, got the coffee, we got the walk and talk. Anyway, first thing on my mind this morning was about practice and something that I was half-ass practicing yesterday. Ooh, I should walk in the other direction because I look like shit. Got to get the blood going. And it was a thing that I felt like, I was like, should I be practicing this because I'm feeling guilty that I have a deficiency in this, whatever this thing is? Why am I guilting myself to practice this? What good is that gonna serve me in my day-to-day life, in my playing? Am I gonna feel any better about myself having, practiced that? Yeah, I just woke up. Having practiced that, having whatever, you know what I mean? Like now this is an individual journey. I'm talking about me. I'm talking about me based on my knowledge set. Remember, there's all these different stages of knowing. This is, yeah, you know what I'm talking about, right? Like, don't get it twisted. Some people, they don't know what they don't know, and the shit that they need to know. But this was a thing that was like, that thing was like, did it move the needle to who I want to sound like as a player, who I want to sound like as a writer, you know what I mean? All that stuff. Anyway, so I guess that's also like, the older you get, the older I get. I'm like, man, like I gotta be real judicious about my time and where I spend it, So anyway, now that I'm out here walking, I'm regretting this scarf because it ain't that goddamn cold. But I'm cold, and I don't like being cold. And here we are with the goddamn scarf, which we don't need the scarf anyway. And the sun done started beating down. Now I'm an idiot. Okay, anyway. So I'm just walking at a natural clip, right? Right now, I'm not trying to change anything about my gait, my walking. What I'm trying to do, I'm not trying to do, but what I'm encouraging you to do is when you're moving, to notice rhythmic patterns, natural rhythmic patterns in your body. And don't try to force that. So I'm gonna start counting. Man, I'm gonna tell you something. I hate litter. I don't hate it, but I dislike it very strongly. And as I'm walking by, I see litter, and I don't like it. Anyway, there's no need for it. One, 2, 3, 4, 1. Now, if every step is a beat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. The eighth notes. The eighth notes are everywhere I lift my foot up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and 1. Now I can't do it because I have my phone on in my hand. I got my coffee in the other, and I need my coffee. But let's say I'm walking, and I just want to acknowledge the and of beat 1. And what do I mean by acknowledge the and of beat 1? Say it out loud, tap it, sing it, shit, I don't know. But acknowledge the and of beat number 1. And understand that all of these subdivisions of beats, they have the same character. They're like characters in the neighborhood. I've said this before. You walk around your neighborhood, man, sometimes you see the same people all the time. You don't even have to know their name, but you know what they look like. You know what kind of clothes they wear. You know what kind of stride they have. Like Sesame Street. And. One and two. Three, four. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and. You dig? Now let's say now after I'm done with how and you could like stay in the and of one or the and of whatever for however long you feel like staying there until you get comfortable with it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And now peep this. Let's say you have you fix in your mind a 2-measure groove. Let's not call it a groove. Let's call it 2 boxes, 2 buckets. 2 buckets next to each other, side by side. And those 2 buckets are measures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. Just repeating, right? That's the framework of the groove, the architecture, right? You got these 2 buckets sitting side by side. 1, 2, 1, 2. Now, let's say that on measure 1, I want to acknowledge the and of beat 1. And then on measure 2, I want to acknowledge the and of beat 2. Now understand, all I'm doing right now is there's no instrument. I'm the instrument. I'm the sentient being with the thing. So, and I missed it. 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 and 2 and and then as you start doing that shit, it's hard to not like maybe start to dance a little bit. You know what I mean? You know, Victor Wooten said it best, man. I saw this thing on one of the bass forums, and the guy was asking about time and who was, man, everybody responsible for time. But everybody has not worked on time or acknowledged, even drummers. They don't, you know, not all drummers, obviously, but they haven't acknowledged, you know. So, you know, you do it or you don't. Listen, you do it or you don't. I was having a conversation the other day, and I'll tell you what, you know, yeah, it's up to you, man. It's up to you. You ain't got to work on it. You ain't got to do it. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. It's just like that thing I was talking about, what I was trying to guilt myself into practicing this morning. There was a thing that I practiced. I don't want to say what it is, but it's a thing that I practiced. And then I was like, why am I practicing this? Why am I using this? Here's an analogy that comes up. When when I moved to Thailand, I had no idea that I would ever go to Thailand. Certainly not for any length of time, right? I never thought that. So it would have been reasonable to think that I would not have practiced Thai on any level. For what? For what? This is kind of going back to that thing, what kind of music do you want to play and who do you want to play it with? Now, I said, why would I learn Thai? I don't need to know no Thai. But then the opportunity came to move to Thai, and I was like, oh, shit, I should probably learn some Thai. But am I going to learn everything there is to know about the Thai language? No. No, you don't. You don't need to know, I got distracted by a question there. So when I knew I was moving to Thailand, I practiced conversational Thai. Enough Thai for me to stay out of jail and for me to say, no, I don't like ladyboys. Boom, that's a joke. It's a joke. I'm telling a joke, but it's also not a joke. You understand what I'm saying? So my whole point is, I lost my train of thought. Somebody in the comments made me lose my mind up in here. Just kidding. So unless you just have, let's say you had a love of language. I know some people know how to speak or try to learn how to speak a bunch of different languages, not because they are like super well traveled or they have a job or whatever that takes them to all these different places, but they have a love of language. You dig? So that's a whole nother thing. Zacho drums. Yo, I don't have a bass, so how do I practice? I'm doing it in a band. Man, you need to get a bass. You need to get a bass. I'm gonna say something that sounds like a real asshole right now. It's gonna sound like a real asshole move. Man, basses ain't that hard to come by. Basses are not that hard to come by. What kind of bass do you need? You need one with strings and pickups on it. Where do you get one from? From the store. Go to the store, man. You can buy basses, man. Right now I can find somebody that's selling a Squire jazz bass for $200 somewhere. Go in a pawn shop. Be basses that are just decent enough. And I'm really not trying to be a dick. What I'm saying is, if you don't play right now, or if you don't have a bass right now, basses ain't that hard to get. Step one, get a bass. Where do you get a bass from? Man, go buy a bass from the pawn shop. Like we used to do back in the old days. We got all these fucking videos. I'm about to be real now. I like to keep it 100. I don't know why I wore this scarf. It ain't that cold out here, but man, listen. All these videos about what bass you should buy and all that, man, buy the bass that plays. Buy the bass that you gonna maybe stick around with for a little while. Which bass is that? Fuck, I don't know. And nobody else knows either. What kind of music do you want to play? What kind of music do you want to play? And who do you want to play it with? Most basses only fall into a certain category: a jazz style bass, a precision style bass, and a Music Man style bass. If you count 4 categories, that's extended range basses, right? That have but some cats get 5 and 6 string basses and shit, and I'd be like, why you doing that? You about to play chords? You about to be playing a whole bunch of melodies? You only need 4 strings to play Brick House. And them other notes that you're gonna touch, they on the 4th string. That's real talk. Let me say that one more time. Really not trying. Hey, watch your mouth. I ain't really. I'm not trying to be. Oh, look at the little library. That was my now. That's my next question too. I assume Zacho Drums is an adult because not a lot of kids come around this channel. But yeah, man. You gotta get your hands on the bass. You can get your hands on the bass. What is that? You can get your hands on the bass anywhere. You know? Do you play? Do you play? Do you play? Do you play? Anyway, excuse me. So there's my little walk and talk for the day. A little rant. A little rant. A little rant. A little roll. And a little rhythm. Simple rhythm. Get used to those ands. The downbeats and the ands. Let me follow that up though. When you isolate the and. Let's say I slowed this down. 1, 2, 1, 2, and. Let's say that I'm talking. Let's say I slowed it down a half the time, and I said 1 and 2 and 3 and. So that's gonna be a little trickier if you do it like that while you're just walking. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and. So we acknowledge the and of beat 1, 2 and 2 Acknowledge the and of beat 2. Just isolate it. Just walk around with it. Isolate it. Acknowledge it. Acknowledge it with your voice. Acknowledge it with your hands. You can clap it. You can sing it. Whatever you want to do. And. Acknowledge it. Do that same thing. Acknowledge the ands of beat 3, beat 4, and then go back to those 2 buckets. You got 2 buckets, or 2 cups, or 2 whatever, and those are measures. And so, let's say you want 1, 2, and 4, 1, and. Let's say the and of beat 2 on measure 1, and then the and of beat 1 on measure 2. 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, and. Boom. Missed it. Boom. But don't. Do you understand what I'm saying? And then when you get home, man, pick a note. Don't worry about what finger you're using. Pick a note and play that same thing. Play the same thing. But be honest with yourself. Be honest that you can acknowledge what it is you're playing, what beat, what subdivision, and all that you're on. You know what I mean? All right, y'all. Shoot. Let me get back to this walk. Get back to the house. It's cold out here. My hands are cold. Catch y'all in the